Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. As today's title indicates, today I'm going to be talking about some of our favorite read aloud books. If you're new here to my channel, my name is Julie. I am a homeschooling mom of 5. We've been homeschooling now. We are just completing our 8th year of homeschooling. It's crazy to say, but it has been that many years. And an important part, a very enjoyed part of our homeschooling day is read aloud time. We have read a lot of books through the years, and so I'm just going to go through and show you. I have this big stack of books in my lap. I'm just going to show you each title one by one and tell you what we like about this book, maybe explain a little bit of what the book is about. I am not great with words and explaining storylines and plots, and some of these titles I'm like, wait, I need to think a little bit before I can remember exactly what the storyline of this book is. So if you want more details, Google it, look it up on Amazon or something. But these have been our top favorite read alouds through the years. So I'm just going to go ahead and start at the top of my stack. And this one, if someone asks me what is your favorite read aloud book, this is like, if I only could say one, this is the one that I would say. This is Charlotte's Web. I read this when my oldest was in kindergarten, and ever since I have read it aloud whenever we have a child in kindergarten. So my youngest is going into kindergarten this fall, and so we will read this again. It is just the cutest little story, and some of these books I will show you might be more appropriate for older kids. Like, I would read it to all of my children, but the younger ones are kind of lost through it. Even kindergarten age can really sit and understand what's going on in this story, and then my older ones enjoy it as well. We also enjoy read alouds where we can watch the movie after. That adds a fun element to it. And then the kids are usually really judgy about the movie. They're like, that didn't happen in the book. Oh, and they are really grasping how, although they all love movies, we love watching shows and stuff, they are realizing how much more you can understand a character's emotions and feelings, and some of the ways that it can be shown in a book that isn't as easy to show in a movie. This is also by E.B. White, same author as Charlotte's Web, and this is The Trumpet of the Swan. This is a really, really cute story as well, and it takes place in Canada, which is really fun, over on the West Coast, and it's about these trumpeter swans. They keep coming back every summer, and this the boy in the story gets to have a close relationship with this swan. The swan learns how to write and use a trumpet and communicate with the boy. And then this one, this would be like, if I could tell you 2 good read alouds for your kids, Charlotte's Web would be my first. This one would probably be second. Maybe next I'll show you what would be third. That's what I'll do. Okay, those would be my top 3, but I have 9 to show you today. And so this is the Little House series. We just finished rereading through the entire Little House series. There are 9 books. I'll just look at the back here. Yes, there are 9 books in the series, but this one is a great standalone. There's also book number 2, Farmer Boy. It's also a great standalone, so if you don't feel like you have to read the entire story, but this is a real story, a living book about this girl, Laura Ingalls Wilder. You've probably heard of it. I have not. The kids haven't watched the show yet, and I really want to introduce it to them, but we all really, really enjoy reading about these adventures in a little house on the prairie. So, like I said, this would be my 3rd favorite to share, and this is the book The Wild Robot. This is a fairly new release, and typically as we're going through the library, sorry, I have a hair that's tickling my arm down here. We go to the library and new releases. There are some good new releases, but a lot of them are not. A lot of the books I'm showing you today are more classics that have been written years ago. This one is a fairly new release. I think it came out in like 2019 or something, and we love this book. It's called The Wild Robot. We also have the sequel called The Wild Robot Escapes, I believe is what the sequel is called. And it's about this robot that there's this crate of robots that is shipwrecked, ends up on this island, and this robot ends up having a relationship with a whole bunch of animals. And one thing I really enjoy about this book, is how much it explains the animals, what the animals' babies are called, what their habitat is called. All throughout the book, it's just really explaining a lot, and I think that the kids learned a lot about animals through this book, and it's just a really fun one. I also like that this one has really short chapters, so as I'm reading to the kids, if they say, come on, read another chapter, each chapter is only like 3 or 4 pages long, and you can just keep reading and reading. And this is one that I think we've only read it once, maybe we read it twice, but I'm about ready to reread that one again. And then another classic, this is by Beverly Cleary. Beverly Cleary has written a whole bunch of books. We also enjoy the Ramona books, and she's written some great ones. We have a good stack of them up on our bookshelf, but this one is a favorite. The Mouse and the Motorcycle. Books about animals are always fun, and so this mouse is this is the one that's stuck in a hotel, right? I sometimes get mixed up between The Mouse and the Motorcycle and Stuart Little. This is the little mouse that was stuck in a hotel, though. He gets to know this boy and his family who are staying in the hotel, and being a mouse, he has a huge family all in the hotel, and he learns how to ride this little dinky motorcycle, and he rides it around the hotel. The next one I'll show you, again, a classic by Roald Dahl. Again, we have a lot of Roald Dahl books, and another favorite is James and the Giant Peach. This is Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and you can't really read the sequel to it, Charlie and the Great Green Glass Elevator, without reading this one first. This one is great, lots of laughs, but I will say the sequel, Charlie and the Great Green Glass Elevator, I think I'm saying that right, I probably like it even more than this one, but so many laughs and very simple reading even for young ones to listen to. I just realized I said to you guys I have 9 books. I do have 9 books on my lap, and that is because there is one title I wanted to share with you today, and I could not find the book on our bookshelf. We own it, I know it's somewhere, so I actually have 10 titles to share, and I will just share a picture maybe of this book because I couldn't find our hard copy, and it is Pippi Longstocking. I thought about it because I was talking about the humorous factor in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and Pippi Longstocking is also a very funny book. It's about this little girl with her signature red braids sticking right out her head. She lives with a monkey and a horse, I believe it is, in this house, lives next door to a couple other kids that she befriends, and their family thinks that Pippi has parents living at the house, but she doesn't. Her father is away at sea, and so her family is her horse and her monkey. Again, animals, they're really prevalent in kids' stories, aren't they? It's a very short read, but really cute and funny. A book that is not quite as funny, but it's a great classic, is The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe by C.S. Lewis. We have read the whole Chronicles of Narnia series as well. I want to say it was probably, I was gonna say 2 or 3 years, but I know it was longer than that. We've been at this house for almost 4 years, and we read it before we moved here, so it's probably been 5 years since I read it, the whole series, and I want to reread it to the kids. It is definitely an older, the older children grasp it a lot more than the younger ones do. This is one in the series that even the younger kids would get more of, though. And it's about these 4 children. They go through a wardrobe. They find this secret land called Narnia. They befriend this lion called Aslan, and it is this picture of Christ and his love for us and the dangers in this world, and the devil, who can be cunning and distracting, and the sin that can look attractive, but we need to stay close to God. And so it is a picture of that throughout this story. Really great classic. Again, there's a show, a movie that you could watch after. Might be scary for little ones, but my kids really enjoy the movie as well. The next title I'm gonna show you, another classic, lots of classics we are enjoying. This is Robinson Crusoe, and I'm having a hard time remembering exactly what happened in this book. Like, I get the general idea of it, but we've also read Island of the Blue Dolphins and Treasure Island, and so sometimes all of these books can get a little bit messed up in my head. They're all muddled together. But I told the kids I was filming a video on some of our our all-time favorite read-alouds, because we read a lot more than these 10, but these are ones that we would keep coming back to. And Elijah, my oldest, said Robinson Crusoe, that was one of our favorite books. And so I took it off the bookshelf, and this is the one, I believe. It's about this guy who gets shipwrecked again. He finds himself on this island. He's all by himself for years and years. And then on a Friday, he meets, he was keeping track of days and was able to keep track that it was a Friday that he met this other individual on the island, ended up calling him Friday. They spoke different languages, but kind of learned how to communicate since they were the only ones on the island. And there's a lot more to the story, but it's been a few years since I read this one. It's another one I probably should reread since it made a really good impression on the kids. It's coming back to me a little bit as I talk about it, but that's one. Again, I will say it's been a while since I read it, so I don't remember for sure. There are probably some parts that are a little bit more gruesome for younger kids, if I remember correctly. But again, look it up, use your own discretion on that one. And then the last one I have to show you is one we're actually reading aloud right now. I think we only have like 2 chapters left on it. But again, when I told the kids, my second child, Charity, was like, yes, include Treasures of the Snow. That is one of our favorites. I was like, okay, I will show it. She did. I'm not surprised she thought it was one of our 10 favorites, because she got this for her birthday this year. She read it to herself and then begged me to read it aloud. She's like, I love reading and I enjoyed the story, but I love it even more when you read it aloud to us. So I did that. We were right at the end of it, and it is this Christian book about, it is a fictitious, I was gonna say fictitious story, but it shows, it's a picture of the love and forgiveness and mercy that God shows towards us, how he can change our hearts and how we can show forgiveness to others. It's a story about a couple of kids who are angry and bitter and just treat each other poorly, but Jesus's love that they accept later on in the story changes their attitude towards each other. We also have, so this is, I haven't even showed you the author is by Patricia St. John. We also have another book by Patricia St. John. I haven't read it yet. It's called Rainbow Valley or Rainbow Garden, Rainbow Valley, I think, that Charity has read that she really enjoyed, and so we'll have to do that as a read aloud as well. But I know that Patricia St. John has written some good Christian, titles, fiction titles for kids. That's it. Those are our top 10 favorites. I hope I'm not missing any. We read so many good titles that when I was trying to organize my thoughts for this video, I thought, I guarantee there's something else that we have read, like from the library or something that we just loved that I have forgotten about. But those are ones that came to our minds, books that we have read and reread and really enjoyed. I will link all those books down below in the description box. And if you guys in the comments want to let me know some of your favorite read aloud books, we are always looking for new ones. Our library is pretty crappy, to be honest, with good books. They do have some, but we read all of them. And so I just, every time I hear some good titles, I look online, try to find a deal on buying some of these books so that we can have, more good quality reading in our homeschool. Thank you for watching today's video. I'll see you guys very soon. Bye-bye.